Hey everybody, Andy Cool, the Republican nominee for Baltimore County Sheriff. I wanted to go live here. Oh, and this is Casima, my cat. She's kind of got RBF right now, but I wanted to go live and just go over a couple quick points of what the county sheriff is, what your county sheriff should be doing, and how he or she should be protecting the people. So just a couple quick things. The county sheriff is the chief law enforcement officer. That means the county sheriff is above all other law enforcement agencies and officers. If you have a chief of police and a county police force, a Maryland state police force, or if you have federal agents that want to come into the jurisdiction of the county sheriff has jurisdiction over all other law enforcement. Very important point to remember, especially in today's tyrannical society of government that we're living in. And another good point is the sheriff is the only elected law enforcement officer. And this is for good reason, because the sheriff is supposed to be the law enforcement arm of the people. So this is very important. Again, all these points you have to remember, and I want to do this quickly so it's easy for everyone to digest. And the county sheriff is also the highest executive authority in his or her jurisdiction in the county. So that means above the county executive. And that means they also have the choice whether to enforce laws or not enforce laws that violate the Constitution or the constitutions. And that's another great point that I want to bring up right there, is we have two constitutions that our elected officials take an oath to. And that's the U.S. Constitution, and that is the Maryland Constitution. So when our elected representatives take an oath, they are to both of these documents. These are the rules of the game, as Michael Peruka likes to say all the time, and he's perfectly right in saying so. We have to know the rules of the game. So you can get copies of the Maryland Constitution and U.S. Constitution for free. Google the phone numbers that you can get them at, or you can go to the American View, which is the Institute on the Constitution, and get some copies yourself. So the county sheriff can unenforce laws. So it doesn't matter if it's passed through the General Assembly of your state or Maryland, let's take for example. It doesn't mean it's an actual law. It's pretended legislation. And the county sheriff actually migrated from English common law. This is way before the Constitution was ever written. Everybody knows the story of the Sheriff of Nottingham and how he was the king's man, but also the tax collector, which doesn't paint the sheriff into very good light. But when it was translated and came over to America, it was more of a Robin Hood title. And the next point, before I get to that, law and order was paramount, and it always is paramount. And adhering to these rule books, the U.S. Constitution and the Maryland Constitution. So that, again, is why the county executive is below the county sheriff, because the county sheriff is supposed to keep the peace. Another point is the county sheriff is the arbiter of the people. And this action that a county sheriff should perform is called interposition. That means the county sheriff, when all other government fails, or when even one officer of the government or state agency fails the people, violates their rights, they are supposed to stand in between the people, the person, when these things go down, and uphold the Constitution and protect the people. So most people have the common misconception that the federal government is at the top and we have to listen to them and they're the end-all be-all. No, that is the complete opposite of how the hierarchy of government works. So the people are at the top. And then below that is the sheriff, then the county local government, then the state government, and then the federal government. We are self-governed. And this is the reason for this. When the federal government fails, when the state government fails, when the local government fails, which we have seen so much in the last 2 years, that is when the county sheriff is supposed to turn around and face all of those governments in your name and in the name of the Constitution. The sheriff is supposed to be the protector of the Constitution. Do not let this rule book, this document, get destroyed by tyranny, communism, socialism, whatever form, foreign or domestic entity wants to destroy this God-given document that was written by our founders with inalienable rights in it. The God-given rights, basically the U.S. Bill of Rights, and in the Maryland Constitution is the Declaration of Rights. Those are the fundamental building blocks of our society, and the county sheriff is supposed to uphold them, hold them up as high as he can, and say, government, you're not going to violate these things that are self-evident, that these are true and absolute facts of our society that we must adhere to. The county sheriff should be standing up for that. And last point of order, and this is kind of my favorite one. The county sheriff should be holding all of these elected officials accountable. Now, in the last 2 years, there have been so many egregious violations of our constitutional and God-given rights, and our county sheriffs, all 3,080 of them, I can tell you right now, are not doing enough. So it's one thing to not enforce a mandate or not enforce an unconstitutional law, but the county sheriff should be taking that next step, which is the preemptive action of, we're not going to let this happen again. We are going to hold this elected official, this state officer, this agency accountable for violating people's rights. And the county sheriff should certainly be interposing between government and tyranny, defending the people in this way, arresting politicians. Treason and sedition is a very serious thing. When you violate everyone's rights on a whole, you must be held accountable. And I expect, when I am elected for Baltimore County Sheriff, that I will be held accountable in the same manner. But I know I'm going to be one of the busiest people after I'm elected as well, and I'm probably going to get sued every single day because they want to stop me from showing the people the truth. My campaign is broadly educational because I want you to learn what the sheriff is supposed to do. We could have nipped this in the bud a long time ago if we had constitutional sheriffs, and that's what I'm bringing to the table. I'm going to be a true constitutional sheriff, and I will defend the people, and I will have that communication, that reciprocation between the people and an elected representative. I've been injured by government myself so many times over the last 2 years that I wanted to do something about it. Now, you can find more in-depth information about the county sheriff on my website, which is cooljustice.com, KUHLJUSTICE.com. There is a very special video that my friend who teaches the Constitution around the state, he was kind enough to do a video for a group of mine, and it's called The Sheriff and the Citizen. So you can learn about interposition, you can learn about the founding documents, and you can learn about the duties and responsibilities that the county sheriff truly has to the people. So again, that's what I'm bringing to the table. You can expect all this to happen when I'm elected. I need your support. I need you to know the rules of the game. So please open up your constitutions, open up your Bible. This is how we get our country back. If there's any questions, I will certainly ask them right now. I think I'm sideways. I don't know. I don't go live on Facebook very often. Did I go sideways? I'll just take this off. Rotate your phone. Okay, so now this is awkward because I have no idea what's going on. But the first 5 minutes of this was the most important thing. So if anybody has some questions, go ahead and throw them out there now. And I hope you share this video. Send it to everybody because we should know what the county sheriff is supposed to do. That way we can hold them accountable, hold their feet to the fire right now and pressure them. Because there's so many ways the county sheriff should be involved right now. We have preponderance of evidence of election fraud with the 2,000 mules thing, with the Sumter Hall MD 2020 watch. I encourage everybody to go there and see those reports. So the county sheriff should be arresting anybody who's liable for fraudulent election and securing that new election to happen. It's only going to take a little bit of pressure on tyrants to push them back into their holes, and then we'll remove them from office when new and good people are elected. So, all right, I don't see any questions in here now. Like I said, please take this video, share it around to everybody you know, and if you can support my campaign, I really appreciate it any way possible. And last thing is I'm going to be having a fundraiser on July 9th from 6 to 10 at Dundalk Knights of Columbus Hall. So we're working on details of all that right now. I just wanted to give you the heads up. We'll be making a flyer to pass all that out. And hopefully I'll see you guys there. It should be a great time. Thanks a lot. God bless.